I love y'all. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm joined by a gentleman who I think is doing something worthwhile. In this day and time when everybody is trying to take, I have Mr. Will Casey on, who's actually trying to give. And the name of his program is The Power of Will.
That's right.
And this is Mr. Will Casey. You're watching the Ernest Faison Show. Will, thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you for having me.
Will, briefly, why don't you tell the people under the sound of my voice a little about yourself, and then we'll get into the meat and potatoes of actually why you're here.
All right. My name is Will Casey. I'm 51 years old. Grew up in Cranston, educated in Cranston, lived in Cranston forever. Not from Cranston. Born in New York, but lived here forever. And, you know, I just went to college, URI, played school football there, and just spent the rest of my life playing football, raising my children. I have 4 children, and was married for a little bit, but, you know, the children I have, and just raising them, getting them to their dream.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So you do realize that my cousin is Ray Lewis.
Really?
Yeah.
Somehow I could read that a little bit. I could picture that.
You come across a Miller, we gonna make an example. That man so bad he make medicine sick.
Yeah.
He float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. So Will, you got this program, man. I'm really excited because there's a theme going on with me now. So I just told my guy here, Bill, that we did the Salvation Army. I just got through doing my other charity where I do the polar bear plunge, which is called Wish Come True. You see this pattern?
Yeah.
Now it's public service, brother.
Yeah, always,
It's all about
always.
leaving it better than we found it. And so now we have you on, who's also motivating kids. Tell me, what was the motivation behind you getting this going? Where are you at, and how's that going?
Well, what had me get it going was, you know, like I was saying earlier, I was always like a thinker. Like I was always thinking different things and imagining different things and just wondering, you know, and as I get older, I see things start to happen, you know what I mean? Like, you know, everything's falling into place just like, you know, a blueprint. So as I got older and started teaching and dealing with children, it was just a different way that I felt that they should have been dealt with, you know, like sometimes they'll have free time, they'll get in trouble. So I was always looking for a solution instead of, you know, a problem. Then I started getting into a higher enlightenment sort of subject and just reading on that. I mean, a lot of people know it as The Secret when The Secret first came out, the book that told you how to create your own reality. So I started experimenting at the school I was at working at, just giving different children different tasks to get, you know, things done on a higher level, challenging them. And it just caught on, you know. I said, this is, you know, kind of what I think I should be doing. I was already in the education in, you know, behavioral disorder career. So I was like, let me, you know, I think
What was
this
your
needs to
major
be
there at
spent.
URI?
My major at URI was child psychology. And then I transferred to Guilford where I finished off in North Carolina. And it's sociology and
Guilford,
anthropology.
as in close to like Greensboro, North Carolina?
In Greensboro, North Carolina.
I went to A&T.
Greensboro College, A&T,
I went to A&T.
Bennington College.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yes.
you're watching Peg, RIT.
Yes.
This man just divulged some information. You got a brother up here blushing because he went to a college right by me. His
Yes.
name is Will Casey. He motivates kids. You went to Guilford, man.
Yeah, and I tell everyone, that's like Cranston Street all the way downtown.
I went
all
to A&T.
colleges.
You already know
that
about
big
A&T.
circle, man, right?
Wow,
all
that's
the Bennington
amazing.
College,
Yeah.
UNC Greensboro.
Yeah, I used to go there and eat food.
Yeah.
Because our food was bad. You didn't hear that from me.
I
Yeah, you
frequented
did.
there a lot on A&T, yeah.
That's something,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
So you got these kids, you're starting to motivate them.
Yeah, motivating on like a different level, though. You know, like, you know, we say we're going to motivate them, but they don't even know what motivate means. Sometimes we don't even know what motivate means because I'd rather say inspirational speaker.
I like
Because
that.
motivate, you can motivate anyone to do anything. It
How
doesn't
old
have
are the kids that you deal with?
I deal with probably 5 years old to about like high school.
Okay.
Actually, I can do older, you know, anyone, adults, because it's never too late to start thinking and creating, you know.
Never too late.
Finding your purpose, which is the whole point of the program, is helping them find their purpose, what they're
amazing.
really here for.
Yeah. So in this day and time when you got the social media, do you find there to be a lot of challenges with social media and not with this hands-on? Because the people behind the camera there that I'm looking at, we were hands-on and it was due process.
Yes.
You didn't have to be able to punch some buttons and be able to pull up and look at a pipe bomb
Right,
and
right,
figure out
right,
how to
exactly,
make one,
exactly.
Brother Will. So you feel what I'm saying?
I feel exactly
So
what you're
so
saying.
they're going from A to Z, whereas Holly and Bill and myself, we went A, B, C, D,
Step
E.
by step by step.
So I think that's too much information. How is it that you're able to dial, you feel where I'm going with it?
Right.
Dial them back
Well,
on
see-
their deficiencies, et cetera, et cetera.
Unfortunately, fortunate, like you're right. Someone can get on the computer and be able to build a pipe bomb from A to Z. But they could also go that other way too, that fast
Okay,
and as
all right,
quick.
all
You
right.
know what
I
I mean?
like that, I like
So
that.
maybe that person may have been serving their purpose, unfortunately. But everyone does have a purpose, you know, to propel the whole, you know, the world, humankind. So I kind of find it like you have to catch up. You know, and actually, they're actually catching up as far as I'm concerned. We just haven't used our mind and our thinking in the way we can actually use it. So the computer is actually a clone of us. It's our doppelganger. You know what I mean? Like you get the virus, like you get in you get the virus in the computer. And just certain things that just connect a little bit that just make you see like you are the original computer. There's so many things that with exercises and different, you know, patterns that you do things, simple things. Read a book for 5 minutes every night. Just expand your mind, and then, you know.
Do you find that when you deal with younger children that their attention span is short, and so that information that you're trying to disseminate gets lost in translation?
No. The younger kids is what solidified my idea for me, because I just wanted to see how far they can go and what they can do. So I would challenge them. I started with the little kids, like kindergarten and first grade. And their brains, they're not as cynical yet, you know what I mean? They're not
Yeah.
they're not
They're not
programmed.
tainted.
They're only programmed from in-house down, not out in the
okay.
world.
Right.
So perfect. They hit the stars.
Speaking about programming, you are, like where I did that,
Yes.
you're watching PEG, RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I have Mr. Will Casey here. He's specializing in dealing with kids. His program is called The Power of Will. You got to look this up. And I was looking at some of the things that you do, man. In this time when everybody's trying to take, it's a blessing that we have people on here, if you're going to come on here, that's trying to give.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
And my mother told me, God rest her soul, told me a long time ago, man, it's better to give than to receive.
Yeah. I mean, because if you're
It
really,
really
giving,
is. And, you know, I'm older now.
you're
I
receiving
couldn't
something
see
if
it.
you're really giving.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. I was like, wow, I feel better when I give it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I don't know. It's just something to it.
Yeah.
But that's growth.
And they say you love someone when you give them stuff, not when you receive things.
Yeah, I
So
believe that.
giving it is, yeah, you know,
I believe that.
that's what.
So you
know,
deal with these kids, they're dealing with bullying. Tell me something else. Are they dealing with mental health issues?
It's two things with that. The bullying piece, I was speaking to an official a couple of years ago about trying to implement this into school, and that was one of the, so what would you do about bullying? And the way the program operates is that's not even a thing, you know? Bullying is not even a thing. Like, I'm not trying to stop that. I'm trying to get this. So when I'm getting them to find their purpose and they're doing something they love and they have goals and deadlines to hit the goals, you give confidence in something to look forward to for the one that's getting bullied, and you get the one that was bullying focusing on putting all that energy into what he really wants, because that's basically what it is. You know, that idle time, idle hands are the devil's tool. What's idle time then? You know, if idle hands are the devil's tool, idle time must be his
I would
home.
like for you to take that right there and look in that camera, and if Putin is listening, you need to give that to him.
Right.
Because I don't know. Let everybody say, wow.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we're at that place now.
Right, and it's good because we're at that place on this side too. It's like, all right, which is gonna overpower, you know?
Right.
I mean, because it's not. I think you need to be a little tougher to figure it out than to just go to war. I mean,
I agree. And if a man shows you, not tells you, shows you who he is,
Believe.
Dr. Maya Angelou, All
Believe
together now,
Believe
believe him.
him.
We're having church
That's
up
right.
in here.
That's
I told
right,
you we have
yeah.
a good time, and just let the information be disseminated, brother.
Most definitely.
So as you go forth in this ministry, is what I want to call it, because it is a ministry. You're
trying to-
ministering to kids.
I'm trying to figure the way I could get it high up in the government. So I
Yeah.
might go ministry. It's easier.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
like
it's
that
easier to
better
get church in it. That's
for a nominal fee. When you're dealing with all of these challenges, dealing with kids, the parents come in. How are you able to intertwine your ideology, which is not a conflict to how they want to raise their kids? Pretty good question, huh?
Yeah.
Because
but
I know.
If it's a conflict, then they ain't doing the right thing.
Well, that's right. I know. I've talked to many people. Don't tell me how to raise my kids.
Right,
Huh?
right.
Right? So you say stay in your lane or whatever. I'm just curious how you able to navigate through that without stepping on the people's toes.
Unfortunately, sometimes you gotta step on toes.
It's
But
true.
you do it lightly. You do it, no, metaphorically. Like kids. I mean, I've heard stories of parents
No,
coming
this is
in.
real. This is
Yeah,
real. No,
but
this
I'm
is real.
not- that's
I
no
told
worries
you I go
'cause-
to the gut. with
Because
you.
I work on the parents too. They just don't know it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the same.
Subliminally.
Exactly. It's the same process. It's
Yeah.
contagious. So the children will go home. Sometimes they won't even know me yet. If I just get to a school, and they'll see a change in their kid. They'll see a change in their child. I mean, I've heard parents come to me, and they're like, "This happened this weekend," and they were like, and the child did something different, and they were like, "Mr. Will told me that." So as it went on, they came to meet me, and they were like, "All right, it's understandable," you know what I mean? Because it's a natural thing. So there's really no challenge with that to me, because when you're doing the right thing, you're doing the right thing. I mean,
That's your skill set.
at
is
this
what I'm
point
hearing.
in time, listen, this is the right way.
Right. Put your big boy pants on. Or
And
big
let's
girl
do it
pants
and
on.
have some fun doing it.
Yeah, and
You
have
know,
some
you're
fun
gonna
doing
reach,
it.
your child will reach heights like if anything they want to do, anything they want to be.
Now,
Let
what
me tell you a
techniques
story
do-
about that after.
Yeah, for sure. What techniques do you use as far as to let these kids know that they can actually go higher, better? You don't have to be a product of your environment. You've heard this many times before. You know, how are you able to change that narrative? That's the word I'm looking for.
I give them my narrative. You know, I give them their narrative. It's not even my narrative. It's their narrative. 'Cause I listen to them. I hear them. I see them do different things on different levels during play. So once I see that, just like I coach football as well, I watch them play horse around the field before practice, just to see who's got what
You're
personality.
doing a visual. You're doing
Yeah,
a visual.
doing the visual, and then I give them the visual. You know what I mean? I let them see. Like one school just had a long mirror. One girl was sad. I made before lunch, every afternoon, they had to get in front of the mirror and say 3 affirmations to themselves. And it just becomes programmed. Now they're programming themselves, you know? So I use that. There's a couple other techniques. I got it from Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich.
Okay.
You know, he's got the 12, desire, imagination, which is the main thing that we've lost growing up. Because imagine, what your mind conceives, your mind can believe. And
that
it's
Norman
true.
Vincent
You,
Peale
you
stuff there.
project it. You project it out. You just see it, what you want, no matter how long, and feel like you got it already.
Well, we say down south, speak it into existence.
But it comes from the thought first.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
does, yeah. I want you guys to think about this, speaking about the thought. You watching PEG, RITV, the Ernest Faison Show. I hope that some of the things that we're speaking to you, that you could take and you can actually use, because this man is educated. He specializes in psychology with the children and behavioral disabilities and challenges. So come on in and get comfortable with us, and we're going to keep this thing moving. So
Keep it moving.
when you do what you do, what are some of the challenges when the kids are mentally ill?
You see, they just do things differently. So I don't even look at it as a mentally ill. And as far as the challenge,
Just a challenge. Would that be
Yeah,
the
and
correct?
it's- and
I
it's-
use the wrong terminology. Okay.
no,
A challenge.
you use, that's what they use. That's what they do,
Okay.
you know. And for me, I'm using my program as well. So I'm getting challenged. So I have to take myself to a higher level and think outside the box, you know.
Okay. When kids do go through your I need to get this in. When kids do go through your program, is it a 6-week program? Is it a year? How long is the Power of Will program?
I'd ultimately like to see it go 4 years. You know, do it all the way up, but an actual school of 4 years of it.
Do you have funding for this?
No funding. You know, like the funding part, that'll come. Like I say, you just create it.
Yeah,
I know it needs to
do
come.
the work. Do the work. Do the work.
Someone else is doing the work. They do the funding. We'll just find each other. They're looking for funding to do something on this end, and I'm looking for funding to make it happen. We just don't know we're looking for each other yet. That's how the program goes. You just know what you're gonna get, know what you want, write it. You know, there's a process that goes along with it.
Yeah, I saw it. Very
You know.
detail oriented.
Yeah, you know, you write it down. It's called auto-suggestion. You read it in the morning, read it at night, and whatever your brain gets, I forget, it was 365 times 2. Whatever it hears or thinks that many times, it becomes a fruition. I mean, that's one of the statistics I had read. But,
7:30.
365 times 2?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's what I'm getting.
730.
Somebody say, you know what? I might not be a mathematician, but you can't cheat me out my money.
No way.
And we're not going to cheat you either because you're watching PEG TV. We got the brother here, Mr. Bill.
Oh, no.
Casey,
Will.
William.
Yes, Will.
Casey.
No, William.
Yeah, you say don't
Will.
call that. Leave it with the Will.
Took me long
And
enough
start-
to get the E off the end of it.
Is that right? And he's got the Will Project, man. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
What made you at one point in your life just go, I'm going to do this? Or is it something when you came out the womb that you knew that you needed to do?
That's exactly it. You know, I tell people a story. 11 years old, Cowboy San Francisco. We all know that. The catch. I was actually watching that game. Yeah.
He didn't do that to me,
Yeah,
did
I'm a straight Cowboy fan. I know you're a Cowboy fan.
You a Cowboy fan too?
I already know that. You didn't know that?
Hey, look in that camera and say, hello, Lorraine. Look in that camera.
Hello, Lorraine. Cowboys in the house. In New England.
That's right. Well, I'm in college. I want you to know that. And there was this kid, Perry Hildebrand, and he was a Pittsburgh Steeler fan. Me and that kid used to go at each other. So I'm like, yeah, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl, man. When, what's his name, Dwight Clark?
Yes.
When he made that catch. And Ed Too Tall Jones, I thought he had blocked it. But Montana pumped fake. He pumped fake. And he threw that ball, and he caught that ball out.
There was a wall of white around Montana. If you see it from the sideline, it was a wall of white.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was not having a good day, and my buddy would not let me forget that, too.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of which, thanks, Will, for that. I appreciate it.
Well, I'm a Cowboy fan, too, through and through, you know. But so anyway, I was watching it, and I noticed there weren't a lot of sponsored commercials on. So I'm watching, it was United Way, actually. And I just saw it doing different things for kids. I'm like sitting there, I was like 11. I'm like, so I started thinking of names for like group homes. I didn't know it was a group home then, but in my head for children where they are, like, and naming it like, because football, played, coach, everything. So I was thinking the names would go with that. Fourth and Long, you know, and name the place that.
That's interesting.
You know, and I was 11, thinking about what I'm going to do for teenagers when I get older.
That's
knew
progressive thinking.
Yeah, and I thought that then, like I can actually see that moment. And I just knew, I didn't know what it was then. I just knew I could make it do what it do.
Well, on a more positive note, as far as them boys, I watched the game when Roger Staubach reached back there and Drew Pearson.
The beginning of the Hail Mary.
The Hail Mary.
Yeah, people don't know that the Cowboys started that.
Yeah, I know. I'm not quite sure what's going on with us now, ladies and gentlemen. We need a Super Bowl, and we should have got one this past year, but I digress. I digress.
DeMarco Murray, Ezekiel Elliott, both in playoff games, didn't see him on the field at all.
This is true.
They didn't run it. You got the number 1 running back in the league, and 2 times you get to the playoffs, you go open set on the 4 plays.
You know what? Me and you could talk that all the time. But the other thing I want to speak to you about, like I say, you spoke about the parenting, you spoke about the bullying, spoke about the leadership. What are some of the other attributes in your program that people in the sound of my voice would know that would help a person in society be productive as they go forth in this world?
First of all, we've got to do it together. You know what I mean? It's like you have to, first of all, love unconditionally.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Unconditionally. Change the way we're thinking, change the way we operate with one another, and it just becomes contagious, like I tell everyone. You know, like you never see leaves on a tree fighting one another. You never see grass on the ground fighting because they're all one together. That's what we are. You know, sometimes we were taught that it's about competing and getting number one. And don't get me wrong, you compete, you get number one. But you do it in a different way, and you actually elevate yourself higher. You know, and just different things, you know, like when you see or you think about wartime, you know, people think when we're not at war, we're at peace, and it's not really. You know, you're waiting for the next war. War is the absence of peace. You know, you have to put peace into it, like intentionally and purposely. So that being said, you have to catch on to what they are. Like I can feel what someone, at a level someone can go, which is don't set your goals too low because you'll
Right.
reach them.
Which is a perfect segue because I do understand not only are you doing this Power of Will, you also have coached. And you guys, did you win the state championship 2 years in a row?
This is that power of will right here,
See
man.
that?
I get to this team with one of my good friends. We've coached forever. We played 5 national championships, semi-pro, and coached 5 state championships in the same 5 years. So when I get to this team, they're like, oh, you know, we haven't won a game. I'm watching them. It's like a team dinner at the beginning. And I guess their best record, the guys that were seniors had to forfeit their freshman year. Wasn't enough guys. That's how it seemed. So I'm like, you want to go 10-0? They're like, yeah, all right, coach. We haven't been 10-0. We never won 5 games. Pay attention to what I'm asking you to do. And I would watch and alter things, little things individually. 10-0. They
Y'all
were
win
like,
2 state championships?
we lost the first one, and the second one we won. But we went 10-0 both seasons. I always say we won the first one, because I told you earlier, even when I lose, I win. You know what I mean?
Shit, if I'd have known that, because I heard it through the grapevine that you guys were trying to recruit me as a coach.
Yes.
Yeah, if
And-
I'd
and-
known that
but-
y'all were rolling like that now.
But just think, yeah, man, we could do some coaching, man. Like now we're at West Warwick,
Okay.
so now we're there. You know, great.
Well, you're looking at my timer, Mr. Bill Gray there. He's also was at Central there.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we got some heavyweights up in here, man. Well, I appreciate what you're doing, man. What is IDEATION?
Ideation.
Ideation.
It all starts there. You think, it comes up with an idea, a goal, and a plan. Whatever you figure you want to do, you want to try, it doesn't matter. If you want to lose weight, doesn't matter. Nothing's too big, nothing too small, what you want. And that's the idea. So the goal is we start setting out the goals. All right, we want to be at the end of the year, this. So we break it back, 3, 6, 9, 12. 3-month goals at the beginning is weekly goal. And so that's the goal. And then the plan is to, all right, this is what you do at night, this is what you do here.
Yeah.
So it's idea, goal, plan, IDGAP.
Have a plan, work your plan. This is my plan to tell you right now that you're watching PEG RITV. He floats like a butterfly, he stings like a bee. That man's so bad he make medicine sick. He's a bad man.
I want to take that inspirational speaking to a different level.
Yeah,
Music, the whole nine.
Absolutely.
That's my ultimate goal.
So let me ask you, how many years has Power of Will been around, bro?
Conceived in my mind, or when other people knew?
Well,
Because
when
when it
other
was
people
conceived
knew.
in my mind,
Other people knew.
I think
We
they've
got about
always
5
known.
minutes, so I'm gonna be
I think
bouncing
they've
some
always
stuff.
known. A lot of friends that I have,
Yeah.
you know, they're like, that didn't doubt it. Wanted a silver BMW, 10 years, take the bus every day to work. People were like, just get it, you're working. Nope. 10 years, took the bus, would not buy another car. 11 years later, how I got it, we could speak about it. That story could be another story. But I got it 11 years later. I called a friend Lorraine up. Got a car. She's like, what'd you get? She's like, don't tell me, it's silver BMW. I was like, that's right. So you know what I mean? It's just fun, man. Just, you know, having conversations the next day that you already know you're gonna have.
You know what's great to me is when a person who's older than me, 20 years older than me, say, Ernest, first of all, I'm a young whippersnapper. What do you think of this? I'm sure some of you on the sound of my voice feel the same way. And to know that this man is in his 80s or 90s and he's actually asking you who just recently got on the face of the earth about your knowledge, man, that's got to say something good about yourself. That your parents taught you right, or that you were, gravitating toward information, and that you weren't just going through, as we say, eyes wide shut.
Right.
And
First.
the snooze, you lose, you slow, you blow.
Well, you really don't, because everything happens when it's supposed to happen.
That's
Like
right.
everyone says, the early bird gets the worm. I'm like, yeah, but what does that early worm get?
Well, yeah. That's right.
He's an early worm. He's there, ready to go down the throat of a bird.
What is it that he got? Yeah, just a
Maybe there's
squirrel.
something in the bird's stomach that's a pie. I don't know, but so that's why there's sometimes it just happens.
So you
Everything
guys do
happens.
church? You do what, church events?
Oh, I
Are
haven't
you
done
involved
too
in
many
that
church
like that?
events yet. That's a hard. That's. I have my church, Congregacy
Yeah.
church that I go to,
Well,
and I probably could have had it done there already, but I'm kind of, sometimes I'm there, sometimes I'm not.
I appreciate the fact that you and I have been hitting and missing on this meeting thing, and now
For a
here we
decade.
are on the grandest of stage,
Imagine.
as he would have it to be, and the information is being disseminated, and somebody out there is going
right.
to know about the power of will. And it's not what I'm getting from you, brother. It's not about will. It's about the kids.
Power of their will.
Yeah, the power of their will.
That's what it is.
And you're a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
And Guilford.
I was named Will for a reason.
I guess you were. And just to let you know, my stepfather is a Shriner. Yes, he
Fellow
is.
traveler.
There's some other, he's a traveler man. He's seen a lot of which
You are
goes to
too.
a whole different level. That
Yes,
man
brother.
twinkle in his eye.
Yeah.
When I spoke, he perked right up. I told you there'd be something. And the other thing that was told to me was say, Will, don't rent from an evil person. Lorraine, I got him. See how much fun.
Woo!
You watching, yeah, I got it. See how much fun we have here. You watching PEG, RITV, the Ernest Faison Show, the power of will, educating kids, helping them to get to another level, giving them a safety net, letting them know that you can do it. You will do it. You must do it. Because we put
They
you in a
are
position,
doing it.
you are doing it. And it's just a blessing, you know what I mean? Because it's not about me. You hear me say this all the time. It's all about leaving it better than you found it.
Yes.
And I found somebody who is leaving it better than they found it. So
Not everybody would agree with you on that, but they
That's
do
all right.
agree.
Right now, yeah.
They
In
do
some way
agree.
you're going to agree.
Don't mean they're right.
I know it. Ladies and gentlemen, Will, thank you so much, man.
Man.
It's been fun,
Yes,
but
it
I've got
has.
to run. That man's so bad he make medicine sick. Don't forget, it's our time, not your time.
My man.
Bow.
Peace.
Just like that. Good job. Good job.
Bling, 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 bling. See the Rastaman do his thing. You see that bling, 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 bling. Hey, laddie man. Some people have a golden diamond ring. Driving around